They lead armies associated with the moon, fire, water, wood, gold and earth. They are the big Death Stars, generals who command their armies with excellent tactics and strategies. You probably know them better by the name Death Generals. Commanded by Dark Knightmon and Bagramon, each Death General ruled over one of the 7 kingdoms in the anime Digimon Cross Wars. Each of them used their own version of the Darkness Loader to control Digimon at will. They are Neovamdemon, Dorbikmon, Splashmon, Zamielmon, Olegmon, and Gravimon. Neovamdemon rules over Vampire Land, represents the element of Moon, the first day of the week, and has an army of undead Digimon called the Moonlight Army. His goal is to eliminate opposing forces without a trace, and has an army of undead Digimon hiding in various places, eliminating Digimon that challenge them one by one. Having always lived in the darkness, he has forsaken all emotion, and even killing has become a part of his life that he neither likes nor dislikes. He only feels fulfilled when he sees the dying Digimon disappear under the moon. Neovamdemon is an ultimate level Digimon with the Virus attribute. He can summon Evil Will, which he produces endlessly as familiars, and has a nature that likes the life energy of Digimon. Digimon that are hit by Nightmare Raid, which fires many Evil Will at the enemy, are left in a pitiful state. Bloody Stream Glade, which allows him to freely extend and retract both arms, is a technique that reliably captures enemies, makes them surrender all information they have, and then tears them apart with his claws. He then gathers dark energy, and when the moon on his chest is full, fires his deadly Guardiac Raid. The enemy sees everything around them turn to darkness with a single flash of light, but that light is not of hope, but of demise. Dorbikmon rules over Dragonland, represents the element of fire, the second day of the week, and has an army of dragon Digimon called the Fire Fury Army. He commands many dragon Digimon in perfect unison, and has annihilated his enemies with overwhelming force, no matter the battle situation. He excels in both power and speed, has a wealth of combat experience, and has excellent intuition, allowing him to fight flexibly. He likes the flames of destruction that burst into the battlefield, and will fight wherever he finds an area that is at peace. He derives pleasure from watching Digimon burn and die. Dorbikmon is an ultimate level Digimon with the Virus attribute. His Tyrant called Brand, which turns his rising rage into a flaming sword in battle, synchronizes with his rage and exerts great power. He fights one-on-one, changing the terrain with Burning the Dragon, which strikes the dragon vein into the ground, damaging enemy groups and burning everyone he touches with the super high temperature Dragon Bristonic Fire in an instant. Splashmon rules over Cyberland, represents the element of water, the third day of the week, and leads an army of cyborg Digimon called the Water Tiger Army. He can turn himself into liquid, move through liquids, and freely transform into any person or Digimon. For this reason, he is skilled at espionage and passes the information he obtains to the cyborg Digimon he leads to carry out operations for him. Regardless of strategy, staying beautiful is always his top priority, and he has a personality that rejects tactics that would tarnish his beauty. Although he leads an army, the only thing he believes in is his own beauty, and he has no trust in the Digimon in his army. Splashmon is a perfect level Digimon with the Virus attribute. The cute and colorful water spirits Drippin that are formed inside his body, despite their appearance, have terrifying attack abilities such as fighting, abnormal status, and large explosions, depending on their color. Some Drippin are filled with Splashmon's favorite Miracle Beauty serum, and it is rumored by word of mouth that they make the skin shiny. The dripping cores released by Poisonous Force paralyze the enemy's army's command system and plunge the battlefield into chaos. He also has the techniques Hydro Pressure, which shoots high-pressure, high-velocity water from his fingertips, and Bead Drown, which gathers minute amounts of elements to turn them into liquid around the enemy's head, causing abnormal conditions. When Splashmon is injured and cornered, he releases the zippers on his body and reveals his true form. He uses Tiger Typhoon, which creates a great flood that swallows and annihilates anyone who sees this form, as well as anyone who has injured him, leaving all the enemies with no way to escape, being crushed or drowned. However, his true form is very ugly and contrary to his will, so he hates revealing it to the world. Zamielmon rules over Honeyland, represents the element of wood, the fourth day of the week, and leads an army of fairy plant Digimon called the Wood Spirit Army. His army can blend in and camouflage with the land, such as grasslands and seas of trees. He goes about his activities in a calm and collected manner and can carry out any strategy such as surprise attacks, pincer attacks, mopping up, diversionary tactics, blitzkrieg and guerrilla warfare to successfully annihilate the enemy. Such strategies are only possible due to the strict iron discipline, and he is so cold-hearted that he will snipe and eliminate any subordinate who is disrupting his movements from anywhere. Zamilmon is a perfect level Digimon with the data attribute. He believes that the key to success in any strategy lies in his own actions, and he runs around the battlefield shooting enemies in the head with snipe headshot. He has a variety of weapons equipped on his body and can freely use his techniques, such as firing arrows from his hands with arrow lance, slashing with the bow cutter, which is a bow on the side of his abdomen, and deceiving them with foot shot equipped on his feet. Even when surrounded by a group, he can slash enemies at close range with his bow, using Turbulence Arrow, and shoots arrows at long-range enemies with a flurry of shots that never miss. When facing strong or giant foes, he can finish them off with his powerful technique the World Shot, which focuses energy on the giant arrow Indra attached to his abdomen and pierces the enemy's core. Olegmon rules over Gold Land, represents the element of gold, the 5th day of the week, and leads an army of aquatic beast Digimon called the Gold Thief Army. He is a super heavyweight Digimon whose entire body is covered in steel armor. His aquatic beast Digimon army is as violent and thievish as possible, and they cross the sea to rob valuables wherever they go. Olegmon has a weakness for gold, silver and treasure, and all the treasure he collects becomes food for Olegmon. The more he eats, the stronger his armor becomes. Olegmon is an ultimate level Digimon with a vaccine attribute. He is based on Oleg, a Viking who became the Prince of Kiev and is considered the founder of the Kievan Rus state. Olegmon boasts the greatest strength among the Death Generals and easily swings his super heavy dual-axe dual tomahawk and throws it away with his dual tomahawk boomerang. If they receive the Viking Wufe, which is swung down vertically multiple times, the enemy will be cut to pieces in an instant. Olegmon also keeps Jormungandr in the box on his right shoulder and a giant shadow called Surtur in the box on his left shoulder. When they lock onto an enemy, they turn into vicious shadows. Jormungandr on his right shoulder takes them away to Jotunheimr, said to be the end of the world in Age of Discovery. Surtur on his left shoulder listens to the wishes of his enemies with Dream Comes True, pretending to grant them, but he interprets them in a way that is convenient for Olegmon, and if the enemy refuses the granted wish, he will continue to attack relentlessly. Jotunheimr is a land from Norse mythology inhabited by Jotnar, beings often contrasted with gods and other non-human figures such as dwarves and elves. Jormungandr is a large and mysterious sea serpent or worm who dwells in the world sea. Surtur is one of the Jotun, the greatest of the fire giants. Age of Discovery was a time when Europeans started exploring the world by sea in search of wealth and new trading routes. Their three main motifs were God, Gold and Glory. Gravimon rules over Canyon Land, represents the element of Earth the 6th day of the week, and leads an army of God-beast Digimon called Earth God Army. He has the ability to freely manipulate gravity, and with this ability and the wisdom to see the big picture, he is the strategist who controls the battle situation as he wishes. His tactics are so brilliant that it is said that wisdom springs forth, and he mixes standard and unconventional tactics to toy with the enemy army. His Earth God army is an overwhelmingly strong military force. Gravimon is a perfect level Digimon with the virus attribute. In order to enjoy exciting battles, he uses the battlefield as a research field. He is an inquisitive Digimon who continues to study how to easily cause the most casualties, which tactics will make the most screams, what kind of tactics will make both enemies and allies die in surprise, and how to kill all enemies without shedding blood. On the battlefield, he can use Octagravity, which uses his 8 tentacles to manipulate gravity to make enemies lighter or heavier, and control the enemy's gravity depending on the battle situation. He can stretch and expand both of his arms to grab the enemy and apply intense pressure called high gravity pressure to compress them to their limits. The gravity bank, known as his magical technique, exerts the pressure of the digital world to its limits on Gravimon, causing all of his energy to explode in one go. This is a forbidden suicide technique with enough destructive power to destroy half of a planet, but it may also destroy Gravimon himself. He can regenerate over a long period of time, but even Gravimon doesn't know how long that would take. While not a member of the 6 big Death Stars, Apollomon was recruited as one of the 7 Death Generals. He rules over Bright Land, represents the element of Sun, the last day of the week, and leads an army of God-Man Beast Digimon called the Sun Army. However, the true form of this Death General is Apollomon Whispered, invoked by an evil spirit that Bagramon implanted into Apollomon against Apollomon's will and control. His special attacks are Arrow of Whispered, in which he fires a blue blast from his hands, and Lamenting Sun, which generates a huge dark sun and throws it at the enemy. Grand Generamon, known as the God of Destruction, is a form that was force digicrossed from 7 Death Generals, as they were without being compressed. It has no sense of self or will, and unleashes the special attacks of the 7 who form his bases against those who enter his field of vision. The big Death Stars are themed after the elements which constitute the Wuxing and the Moon and Sun. Wuxing is a 5-fold concept scheme used in China to explain a wide range of phenomena, from human anatomy to cosmic cycles. The agents of Wuxing are fire, water, wood, metal and earth. Wuxing originally referred to the 5 major planets, Jupiter, Saturn, Mercury, Mars and Venus, which were together with the Sun and the Moon, the 5 forces of earthly life. The word itself is composed of Chinese characters Wu, which means 5, and Xing, which means moving. In Chinese, the word moving is short for planets, since the word for planets in Chinese is moving stars, hence the inspiration for the name of this group, Big Death Stars. They also represent one of the 7 days of the week. In Digimon Cross Wars, the Death Generals gather negative energy from each of their respective lands for the Day of Ultimate Destruction, or D5. Dimension Delete and Deadly Destruction Day is the day in which dark energy will destroy all dimensions and merge them together. This is Bagramon's plan to bring the real world to ruin, as well as to make the whole of space-time fall into his hands. D5 is based on the Judgment Day from the Abrahamic religions. After Bagramon takes all the code crowns and reformats the digital world, he commands the 7 Death Generals to gather negative energy from each land so they can complete his Dark Stone. Once the stone is completed, Bagramon activates it within him, which signifies the beginning of the D5. He extends his arm into the sky and opens a dimensional portal to the human world. While he's busy sucking energy from the human world, his brother Dark Nightmon betrays him by stabbing him from behind and uses his Darkness Loader to force Digicross with him. Bagramon eventually breaks free from the Digicross and kills his brother, but is eventually defeated by Shoutmon X7 Superior Mode. Which Digimon from this group is your favorite? Tell me in the comments below. If you want to support me, you can do so on Patreon or the Buy Me Coffee website, the links are in the description below. Thank you for watching, stay tuned for more Digimon videos. P.S. Make sure to follow my community page on YouTube, as I also post updates about upcoming videos there.